There's tight security at this Ahmadiyya mosque in South London, with worshippers having to walk through metal detectors before they can attend daily prayers. The community is staying on guard after they believe they become victims of a hate campaign. 17-year-old student Anamta Mubashir received a leaflet calling for Ahmadis to be killed.
This is kind of scaring me, that why is people provoking other people to kill one of us lot? Why can't we just practice our religion as the way other people does?
While the Ahmadiyya community is considered a peaceful sect, they say they're being targeted by other Muslims who don't consider Ahmadis to be real Muslims because they don't believe Muhammad is the last prophet. The community has seen hostile leaflets against them and preachings in mosques warning against Ahmadis. In this video posted on the web, the preacher tells Muslims to stay away from Ahmadis.
Our sisters, our mothers, they are talking to Islam, they are friends. Why? They are friends.
Ahmadis say they've also seen their businesses boycotted and workers sacked from their jobs. Abdul Majid won an employment tribunal against his former boss, which found he lost his job just because he was an Ahmadi.
My boss told me to become a Sunni Muslim, but I told him I would always be an Ahmadi. He said I had to leave my job because I refused to convert. It was so wrong.
The hostility towards Ahmadis here has surged after the attacks in May on two of their largest mosques in Lahore, killing over 90 people. Ahmadis have faced years of persecution in Pakistan, but now British Ahmadis believe the hostility there is being imported to Britain. Our investigation found offensive leaflets displayed openly around London. In this shop window in Tooting, a leaflet warns Muslims that Ahmadis are traitors to the faith. Abdul Rabbani is the shopkeeper.
I have to protect my own Muslim community from these people. So it's information for our own Muslim brothers and sisters because they are misguiding the people, they are Muslims.
Akbar Chaudhry is from the group behind the leaflets, Khatmen Abawat.
The word choice may not be very friendly. This is just some poorly worded information. The information there is great, but it may not have been the right words. But to connect this to a hate campaign is a stretch of the imagination, a leap of the imagination that I'm not willing to take here.
Those leaflets are now with the police, who've opened up a hate crime investigation. They told us.
What? Whilst the material clearly contains unpleasant references to the Ahmadiyya community, it doesn't constitute an offence under British legislation. All allegations of hate crime will be rigorously investigated.
The police are now working with the community to prevent the hostility from spreading any further.
That's Aditya Talwar reporting there. Well, what impact has this hate campaign had on the Ahmadiyya community in the Northwest, and is there real cause for concern here as a result of the actions of the Taliban in Pakistan? Well, joining me to discuss that is Dr. Abid Ahmed, who is the president of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association in Preston, and Northwest president of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, Dr. Imran Khan from Manchester, is on the line now. Welcome to the program. Thank you for coming in. How real is there a threat to the Ahmadiyya community here? Let's start with you, Dr. Abid.
Well, as we just heard, there have been several incidents, primarily in the Tooting area. As we've heard, people being sacked from their jobs, the boycotting of shops. So at the moment, it's quite localised. And in the Northwest, we've not experienced any real problems, so being positive. But we do want to make sure this doesn't spread to any other area and stop this before it actually happens anywhere else. So we're highlighting what these extremist groups are doing to make people aware of what's happening and to make sure it doesn't actually spread any further than where it's already happened.
Okay, well, let me bring in Dr. Imran Khan. Welcome to the program, Imran. Why do you think why is the Ahmadiyya community considered non-Muslim? What's the history behind this?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to the show. Well, first of all, we consider ourselves Muslims. We believe in Islam. We believe in the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. The only difference really comes to the founder of our community. He claimed to be the reformer for Islam in the modern age. And our belief is that we believe him to be the true person sent by God. Other Muslims disagree with this claim. However, we still consider Islam to be the final religion sent to mankind. And our message is very much a peaceful message and one of tolerance for all faiths and all peoples.
So, if the basic pillar of belief for the majority of Muslims is that the final prophet is Muhammad, and yet they're waiting for their Messiah, Jesus, Isa, to come, and you're saying the Messiah has already come. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, I mean, the founder of our community claimed to be the second coming of Isa, peace be upon him, and he founded the community on the precept of divine revelation from God, and that's the foundation of our community. We do consider the Quran as the last revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we consider all the essential pillars of Islam as very much paramount to our community's spiritual development and struggle. The only difference is we believe that the essential figure of Jesus, peace be upon him, has returned already. And that's about it. I mean, the rest of the Muslims disagree with this. And I think the fundamental...
So what is the basis of their disagreement then?
Well, I think primarily, from a theological point of view, if you'd like to go into that, I mean, theologically they consider Muhammad, peace be upon him, to be the last prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the orthodox viewpoint. The Ahmadiyya community believes that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the greatest of all messengers and the last law-bearing prophet. We, however, believe that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so wills, he has the will to send prophets of the future, but all within the religion of Islam. No new faith or law is going to be brought to mankind. And that's our essential belief, theologically speaking.
And I suppose for the general Muslim community, they still very much believe that the Messiah has yet to come. But I suppose, Abid, it's very much a stalemate situation here then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But I think it's important to express that in all religions there are different sects, there are different doctrines, people have different beliefs. And that's fine, but we need to understand that the ultimate aim of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association was established over 100 years ago. The ultimate aim is to achieve world peace. Now, we plan to do this by removing misunderstandings, promoting dialogue. We have a culture of tolerance, and we want to work together with communities and bring people together. So while we may disagree on doctrines, and that's a healthy debate, it's important to realise that people cannot be persecuted because of what their personal beliefs are. That's simply not acceptable. This is how discrimination starts. It starts against, people boycotting shops and sacking people, and it may spread. It may well spread to other communities as well. So we want to nip some in the bud at an early stage and say that we should respect other people's beliefs, and everyone has that choice to make their own beliefs, but not discriminate against it. That's the important point to make here.
So it certainly seems to be the case of agree to disagree here, isn't it, really? So on a day-to-day basis, then, do you face animosity from the Muslim community? And we're not talking just about the Asian community. I believe that the Ahmadiyya sect originates from South Asia, isn't it? So do you face the difficulty from other Muslim groups from Africa and from the Arab world?
I think the main objections are raised from people in Pakistan. That's because there are many extremist groups there who are openly allowed to voice their opinions. Some extremist groups openly call for the death of Ahmadis in Pakistan. So a lot of the problems originate there. But as I say, unfortunately we can't do much about that. But certainly in this country, we encourage debate, we encourage tolerance, but we don't want to, certainly the way to resolve the problems is by discussion, not by boycotting shops and picking on certain people. That doesn't achieve anything. And ultimately, like I said, we are here to promote peace and help people and the communities and establish peace in the world.
Now, you're both involved in the youth organisation of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association. Abid, and you're the publications officer. How do young people feel? I mean, do they grow up realising the differences?
Of course, yes. I mean, we're taught this at an early age as Ahmadi Muslims, the differences, so we are able to discuss and debate these with the people around us. And it's very important that we all know the differences. But as I keep coming back to the point that, it's healthy having discussions and debate, But, as Ahmadi Muslims, I do not discriminate against anyone who doesn't agree with my beliefs. They're all, the same community, the same people with, I work with them, and I've had friends and colleagues from all kinds of faith. So discriminating against someone because of their beliefs is totally wrong and against Islam. And that's the important point to make here.
And let me bring in Dr. Khan as well. You're the president of the Youth Association here in the Northwest. I mean, what sort of issues do you come up faced with from young people?
Well, I think I have to stress that in the Northwest we're very fortunate to have a good communal relations with all different religious backgrounds, especially non-Ahmadi Muslims as well. There have been no incidences reported in the Northwest. I mean, growing up, obviously, you had the occasional disagreement growing up theologically when you have discussions, but as a whole, I think we're very well respected, and there have been no issues really in the Northwest, and we're very grateful for that and thankful for that, because we're a very tolerant organisation and we wish to promote tolerance and interfaith dialogue, whether that be with non-Muslims or non-Ahmadi Muslims. Dialogue is the key to bringing people together, really.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. I'm afraid that's all we do have time for. Thanks to my guests, Dr. Abid Ahmed and Dr. Imran Khan. Still to come, we'll be talking about